Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about my thoughts on Pretty Little Liars Summer School, the whole ripoff of Scream 2, and the Bloody Rose reveal, and why I think Roberto is one of the worst showrunners of all freaking time. First things first. Like I said before, I stopped watching after episode 4 because I couldn't take it no more. This season is terrible. And I speculated who I thought Bloody Rose was going to be. And I was wrong. But I also said that, like, it's probably going to be somebody you least expect and probably barely in the show. And bam, it was and everything. And as for Roberto, look. This man sucks as a writer and a showrunner. I think he is a hack. I don't know why studios keep giving him television shows. The reason why they constantly get renewed for multiple seasons is because it has like people being all like, the show sucks, but I just can't stop watching it. Like people have literally said that before about Riverdale, the Sabrina show, all kind of crap until they really get into their head that they're like, look, I can't take it no more. And then they stop watching and then the shows get canceled. People are begging for a season 3, but I beg you not because this man is not good. Now, I like the stars of this show. They're just not written well, and the show is not written well. Basically, this whole entire season has been literally pointless and everything. It's kind of like you watch an episode, a lot of cool stuff happens, but then that person wakes up and it's a dream sequence. It feels like that. And not only that, but this entire season, well, okay, at least the killer reveals is just basically a ripoff of Scream 2. So in episode 3 or 4, I heard the theme music for Screenplay. I'm all like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why would they do that for? But then again, they've been making many nods to other past horror movies, better horror movies than this horror television show. And the reveal of the killers is basically a ripoff of Scream 2. It's a mother out for revenge because her son died, and she just happens to find a dorky, film-loving person who wants to make their own movie. It's Miss Lansbury and it's Wes. Now, this reveal, among other things in the season, have had people divided on Twitter. Now, like I said before, I stopped after episode 4, but I've been reading up as to what's been going on. And as for what's been going on in the season, it is literally stupid. Here's the problem with this slasher reveal. Now, there are some people saying that like it was too obvious, and the fun thing about the original show is that it kept you on the edge of your seat as to who A might be. Well, there's a reason for that. In the original, it was more like a true crimes type thing. You had a legitimate actual person who wanted revenge and stuff like that. They dressed in a hoodie, they stalked the girls, they did all this psychological stuff with them, stuff like that. But this is not a true crime story. This is a actual slasher. And for that, if you're gonna have a killer reveal, it needs to be somebody that you follow along for the entirety of the movie or the show for the big reveal to happen. When that does not happen, then it's a huge bummer and a huge letdown. Mrs. Lansbury would have been a perfect killer reveal if she was in the show more. Okay, in season 1, she was only there for 1 episode. Prior to the killer reveal in this last episode, she's only been in like 1 or 2 episodes at the most and everything. I think probably 2. Same thing as for Wes, her accomplice. He's only been in like 2 episodes, and not only were they in 2 episodes each, but they're in those 2 episodes for less than 20 seconds or less than 30 or something like that. So because of that, people started shifting their attention to other characters, and it made sense because you think, okay, they're barely in the show, right? Because they're barely in the show, we don't have, like, a reason to suspect them. We don't have a reason to play the guessing game, which is always fun in a slasher. And we don't know a reason for their motive. And so it would have made more sense to base the killer off of somebody who was actually in the show. And the problem with this reveal is twofold. First, okay, so this show went to great lengths to do the misdirect and make you think it was other characters. That's fine and well in a show like this, but one of those people needs to be the actual killer. Why have up to about, let's see, how many misdirects there were? There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 misdirects in the entirety of this season. Yet none of those people are actually the killer and stuff. So why go to the extreme length of making people think, oh, maybe there was 6. I forgot about Jen. I keep forgetting about that heifer. Ooh, I thought she broke up, Sean, what's his name? Noah and whatever her boyfriend name was. Like, that was just messed up. Anyway, there were 6 misdirects. Why have Jen, Miss Sullivan, Karen's mother, and Christian be a huge misdirect in the show? Then throw in a 7th with that of Imogen's mother, who people thought maybe she's really alive because at the end of episode 6, when Imogen ripped off the bandages and she hallucinated her mother's face and everything. The show went way too far to pull a red herring. Those red herrings were really, really good and really, really juicy. And they didn't pull the proverbial trigger and make one of those people the killer. So now it's kind of like, what was the point in going through this journey if none of those people were the actual killer? And like I said before, Roberto cannot cook. He cannot write a good show, but somehow people just keeps giving him more shows and multiple seasons because people's all like, even though it sucks, it's so crazy, I have to watch. Stop that crap. Watch an actual good show and everything. Watch an actual good slasher movie. Don't watch this man's crap. He sucks and everything. And it is so pointless with all these misdirects. The other reason why this big reveal sucks and everything is because it reminds me of a CBS show called Unforgettable. It's a show that lasted for about 4 or 5 seasons. And in the 4 or 5 seasons, it got canceled 3 times. One of the actually the only main problem with the show, because there's only one problem with this show. And the problem with this show was you could never guess who the killer was. This was a homicide show where you always had to guess, hey, who is the killer in this episode, right? And it's episodic. So there were multiple killers, right? The problem is you can never, ever guess who the killer was and stuff. Why? Because it's what it was is the person was barely in the episode. See, what they would do is that they would have somebody get killed. And they will go from one clue to one suspect to another, to another, to another. By that time, your brain started cooking and you're like, I bet this person is the killer. Only to be disappointed and be all like, who the heck is this person? I don't even remember them in the entirety of the episode. Why? Because it's the split second reveal of the killer early on in the episode. See, what I mean by that is that they would do one of two things. This person will only appear for 30 seconds or a minute talking to our main characters and then disappear for the rest of the episode. Because they barely appear, you assume they're not the killer. or they're somewhere in the background and it's a split-second reveal. What I mean by that is, say the cop goes to a diner, right? And they're walking through the diner and you see multiple people in the diner. And far, far off in the background of the diner, there is our killer sitting there, and the camera passed by that person for one whole second. And turns out that person is the legit killer. That person does not appear for the rest of the episode until the big killer reveal. This started making people pissed off because they could not guess who the killer was. And as a result, it constantly kept struggling in the ratings and got canceled a total of 3 times. And this is how the reveal of this season is. Now, it was obvious from the start that one of them might be Miss Lansbury because she's pissed about the whole chip thing. She has a reason going after 2 of our main characters. But she disappears for the rest of the season and only appears in the second to last episode. And then she's revealed to be the killer and everything. And it's just kind of like, oh, well, I didn't suspect you anymore because you disappeared from the entirety of the show. And the same thing goes for Wes. Wes was like in love with Tabby in the first season. He loves movies. He only appeared for a brief second in like the first or second episode. Then he either appears again or he just writes a note saying, I'm leaving you the movie theater place. And then he doesn't appear again to the major reveal. Oh yeah, he does appear in that other episode. He made a racist comment about how it's hard for white guys getting in the industry. No, whatever, man. Anyway, so he only appeared in 2 episodes and very, very, very briefly in everything. And his motive behind wanting to do all this is literally ripped from all the Scream movies. He wanted to make his own slasher horror movie. So when he found out that Miss Lansbury is really, really, really pissed off and everything, he decided to work with her and do the whole Bloody Rose thing. And they was working alongside that church cult type thing with some of their members. But you would have suspect that it was Karen and Karen's mom involved in all this. But no, they had no idea. Huge misdirect and a pointless of a storyline. Because it didn't make sense. If she's so pissed off at the Pretty Little Liars, especially Imogen and Tabby, why the heck hasn't she been tormenting them all season and going after them and everything? Why go after other people? Why go after the other Pretty Little Liars? Why test them? Test. Not actually trying to kill, but test them and everything. This is so stupid and everything. Because he wanted to make a horror movie and he wanted to have his final girl. And the girl who rejected him. Did I mention he's an adult scamming on a little teenage girl and everything? And so this was just stupid and pointless, and it feels like, you know, somebody waking up from a dream sequence and everything. Killing those random people early on in the beginning of the season was stupid and pointless, and that whole church cult thing. Not actually trying to kill the Pretty Little Liars, but testing them out and actually trying to kill Tabby was stupid and pointless. If they're so pissed at Imogen and Tabby, they should have constantly went after them in a real slasher movie type of way and everything. But Roberto can't write and everything. And stuff. So it makes this killer reveal stupid and pointless and everything. It would have been better if they was front and center in the entire season and gave you reasons to suspect them. Now people are pissed Jen is still alive. People are pissed Jen is not part of like this little like slasher thing. And trying to make Christian the killer with the whole human mask thing and the Bloody Rose mask and everything. Now that, like, you know, setup is completely gone because he's not a killer and everything. And as for Miss Sullivan, Ooh, pissing me off because now they're talking about if you get a season three, will we see original characters from the show come and make it into this show? I hope to God not. They have assassinated her character. She was a pretty cool character in the original, but then she started doing, I think, some shady stuff towards the end, or she just disappeared. I can't remember which one, but I think she was pretty good all throughout the original series. Here, she pulls an Ezra Fitz. Basically, she is secretly recording them to write a book. Really, Roberto? You can't come up with nothing original, so you had to steal a plot line from Ezra Fitz from the original series? So that ruins her character. What ruins it even more is, like, Archie is not dead. Archie is now still alive. Does that mean if they get a season three, will Archie come back for whatever stupid reason and everything? Because like now he stabbed the crap after at Dr. Sullivan. So she is presumably dead and everything. So not only do you assassinate her personality, but you literally assassinate her. Roberto sucks so bad. I don't want him touching the other Pretty Little Liars characters because he won't do them justice because he has no idea what he's doing. So he just comes up with whatever stupid little thing there is and copies source material from other things. Because for the most part, this whole season has been ripped from other like horror movies and crap because it's an homage. No, it's not an homage. You can't think of anything. Plain and simple as that. I do not want to see none of the Pretty Little Liars in this show. I do not want this show connected to Riverdale and the chilling adventures of Sabrina. That is stupid. We've already known magic exists in the Pretty Little Liars universe because of Ravenswood. But you can easily just take Ravenswood out your mind and just say, screw it, you know what I'm saying? But now we know Riverdale is connected. We know Sabrina is connected. This is stupid connecting all his shows to this show that he took over and everything. And as much as I rag on Marlene I. King, at least she came up with juicier stuff than what this man can come up with. He cannot cook. He needs to stop creating stuff. Seriously, he's not very good whatsoever and stuff. The whole West reveal was just stupid and pointless because you never suspected him in season 1 and you never suspected him in season 2. So to have him do like, like the whole, I want to make my own horror movie like all the Scream killers. No, man, that is the laziest writing I have ever seen. And as for Mrs. Lansbury, it would have been a great reveal if she was in the show more. And, we constantly see her taunting the girls. Making people believe it was Karen and her mom. Just to not have it happen was stupid. Making people think it's Christian not to have it happen was stupid. And we knew it wasn't going to be Archie's mom. She's way too old and everything. And not only that, but Bloody Rose was a terrible villain. She wasn't that strong. A lot of people are upset that Farron was just able to kick the crap out of her after all this buildup. All season of this terrible, scary, evil person just gets drop kicked. Drop kicked. And it wasn't even a good drop kick. And so people stopped calling it a back kick. It was not a back kick. And it was a pitiful kick and everything. Like, seriously, he doesn't know how to write compelling characters. He don't know how to write strong women. He doesn't properly know how to write women of color. He does not know how to do a perfect love triangle. The man just cannot write. Why are you investing your time in a hack? I do not get it. I simply don't get it. And it was a shorter season. He should have been able to cook better than that. Lord have mercy, Jesus, I swear to God. What was the point? And also, if Tabby is our final girl, why did the entire season mostly follow Imogen? Because she was the final girl of the last season and she's the most recognizable star of the entire show. So so if Tabby is our final girl, she should have been front and center a whole lot more. Not having her just be in a love romance and not constantly having her get chased around by nobody. And this whole spooky spaghetti thing is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Yes, I know it's a play on that other website, but that is just stupid. Spooky spaghetti. Like, you can't take this show seriously if you have a name like that. You just can't.
Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.